This little section on depressants and anticyclones, it's tough enough. If you find this quite challenging, don't be too discouraged by it, because it is quite tough. Make sure you go back and listen to the videos again, or watch the videos again, and try and really get this into your head. But the next little section of your notes will really help in that process as well, because this is an opportunity for you to apply what you've been learning into these exam questions. So what I'm going to do here is, pardon me, is not necessarily to give you all the answers, but to give you a few tips with these things. Your best bet is to have a wee think about these questions first of all for yourselves, and then to listen in and watch parts of this video to help you as and when you struggle, if you do, when you're going through them. So here we go. Question number 1. Data from weather forecast may be collected from a weather station. Name 2 other sources. Okay, a nice wee simple one to get you started with. There's your land-based weather station. 2 other sources. Any 2 of those, and that's them listed in there for you. State fully 1 reason why it's difficult to forecast the weather over the British Isles. It's a 3-mark question, so SCE, 3 sentences. And the reasons for it being difficult to forecast are, well, you take either one of those 2 reasons and you can break them down into your 3 sentences, and that's how to go about answering that question. Question number 2 follows on from that. A little bit more difficult. Study the figure which shows a simple weather forecast for an anticyclone. Big clue. Over Northern Ireland in July. It's in the summer. Answer the questions which follow. So you've got information there about the temperature, about the wind speed. It's hot, it's calm, southwesterly wind, and no rain. So use the figure. Complete the table by writing the names of the instruments that could be used to collect information. So again, that's recapping on some of the earlier notes. So what's the instrument used for temperature? What's the instrument used for wind speed? What's the instrument used for wind direction? And what's the instrument used for rain? And you can list those in there. Number 2, part 2. State the name of the air mass most likely responsible for this. Southwesterly. So it is, well, I'll not tell you the answer. You can go back and check that for yourself, but it's a southwesterly wind. So that's what air mass. You can go and check that up. And then finally, explain why there will be no rain. Explain why there will be no rain. Now, the key thing to link to here is the fact that it's an anticyclone. And in an anticyclone, the air is falling because it's a high pressure. There's the ground. The air is falling down. As air rises, it cools and condenses to form cloud and rain. As air falls, it warms. Condensation doesn't occur, and there'll be no cloud and rain. So again, that's an SCE question. So those are your 3 sentences there. As the air falls, warms, don't get condensation occurring, and you'll not get rain. So turn that into 3 sentences to explain that fully, linking it to the fact that it's an anticyclone. Question 3, there's a separate video on, so we're going to jump past it to question number 4. Study the images below, which are the rainfall radar and the synoptic chart for May 2018. Now the first question here, the command phrase is describe. Describe is what you see, what is happening, what is going on. No explanation needed just yet. Describe the pattern of rain shown in the rainfall radar map. Now the pattern of rain, I'm hoping by now you'll have kind of picked up in some of the different patterns with this. But you can definitely see that that is a linear pattern. It's a linear pattern or a line of rain, and that means it must be a front. So describe the pattern of rain as shown in the rainfall radar. Again, this is an SCE question. You've got 3 marks, 3 sentences. So you've got the linear front, and it's over the island of Ireland at the moment, and it is just about beginning to affect Scotland up here as well. But at this stage, whenever this map is, or the rainfall radar was taken, England and Wales has no rain. So it's a linear pattern over Ireland, a little bit in Scotland, England, Wales, no rain. There's the 3 sentences for that one. So question part 2 then, the command phrase is to explain this pattern with reference to the synoptic chart. Well, we've already figured out that the linear pattern is front, Is that actually the case? Well, yes, we can see there's the front. There is our depression, our warm front and our cold front, and hooking up here to the top is our occluded front. So that's exactly what we would expect. So explain this pattern with reference to the synoptic weather chart. If you take a look at where the front is sitting, the depression is sitting just off the west coast of Ireland. So obviously that map is slightly earlier than the rainfall radar. The front and the depression has moved over Ireland and it's bringing rain. So what's your explanation here for this one? Well, in your depression, you have got your fronts, you have got your cold air, cold PM air there, and at the warm front, the TM air is rising over the PM air. At the cold front, the PM air is undercutting the TM air, forcing it to rise. As it rises, it cools and condenses to form the cloud. And that's what's going to bring the rain. So your three sentences related to the fronts, that the depressions are coming, the air rising at the fronts, and that bringing the rain. So your last question here then is, command phrase again is describe how the cloud cover over London is likely to change in the next 24 hours. Now the focus here is cloud cover. How is the cloud cover going to change over London? Well, where is London at the moment? London is ahead of the warm front, so it's here. So all you have to do is to go back to your notes on the passage of weather associated with the depression and take your cloud cover row and read from right to left. So what you're going to get first of all appearing here is your cirrus, your nimbostratus, little or no cloud here, cumulonimbus here, and cumulus here. And you'll get that from your notes. And finally, question number 5. Study the map which shows the pressure situation for Western Europe. Answer the questions that follow. Underline the type of pressure system situated over mainland Europe and southeast England. So that's here. And you can see that it says in the middle here, high. High pressure must mean it is, which one is it? Depression or anticyclone? It is, yeah, it's an anticyclone. Of course it is. Oh, underline, don't circle, underline. There you go. Underline the air mass affecting England on the map. Right, what we've got to do is to figure out the wind direction that is circulating around a depression, or sorry, an anticyclone. And the wind circulates in a clockwise direction around an anticyclone. So that is coming here from the east. What air mass is it coming from the east? Is it polar continental or polar maritime? Which one? Polar continental. See 2 ways in which the weather in southeast England would differ from that over Ireland. Well, what's the situation in Ireland? Lo and behold, we've got a low pressure. We have got a depression. So it's 2 ways in which the depression is different from the anticyclone. Well, what would be the depression, weather, the anticyclone? So rain, low rain, cloud, no cloud. Other differences, if you look at the isobars, they're very tightly spaced there. The far part here, so windy, less windy. Things like that. States 1 way finally in which precipitation will change over Ireland in the next 24 hours. Well, you can see here that you've got a cold front passing over Ireland. It's going to pass in that direction. So if I draw this on, here we have got the cold front only. Cold front only. So what's going to happen in the next 24 hours is, just draw this in, wrong colour. Draw this in. As your cold PM air mass undercutting your warmer TM air mass, which is going to cause it to rise, cool and condense to give us cloud there, there. So what's going to happen? What is going to change in the next 24 hours? Well, at the moment there's no rain. Then you're going to get heavy rain. Then you're going to get showers. Heavy rain and then showers. And there's some tips to help you complete those questions.